Hello there! Today I come to you with some sad news about a Half-Life mod and an addendum to an older episode of our series, The Cut Content of Half-Life. I've noticed that one episode of our CCHL series continues to, let us say, captivate people. For some reason, people really find the cut rape monster really interesting. Let us listen into the old episode to find out what it's all about for those of you who have not seen it back then. This part was read from Half-Life 2 Raising the Bar. Well, after reviewing the old video, I'm going to re-record this for better quality, and the Fox needs an update as well. Yeah, that's better. MrFriendly's Phallus by Ken Birdwell. The story of a monster invented by Ted Buckman. One of MrFriendly's proposed attacks was to pound the ground and knock the player's weapon out of his hand. It was even suggested that Gordon's glasses fly off and leave the player stuck in combat with blurry vision. I remember early on when Gabe had worked out what genre he wanted to do and asked me to recommend a concept artist. I remembered my friend's little 12-year-old skate punk brother who used to draw. I had always liked his work. It was really nice classical stuff, and I heard he had just graduated from the University of Washington art department. So Gabe called him and asked him to do a couple of sketches of possible monsters. He came in looking nothing like how I remembered him. He was no longer a little kid. He's now 6'2", all tattooed up with various metal bits poking out of his body. He then opened his portfolio and starts showing drawings of these really disturbing and unsettling looking creatures. Not at all what I was expecting. They looked like deformed alien genitalia. Except for this one that looked like a Cthulhu-esque dog that had a obvious phallus and it looked like it was about to mount something. I'm thinking, oh my god, what have I done? This guy is a freak. Then in a very straightforward way, Gabe asks, so, this underneath the monster, MrFriendly? There's a bit of a pause, then Ted comes back with, that's his penis. There's a longer pause and Gabe says, I'm sitting there really starting to squirm, but I have no idea how to stop this train wreck. I'm just about to blurt out something and change the subject when Ted pipes up with, well, I was thinking, what's scary to our target audience? A lot of them are 14-year-old boys. They've seen all the big brutish monsters with guns for their hands already. That won't really do it. So I'm thinking, what actual fears do they have? So I decided to go with something that elicits a homophobic response. He then starts into a long, detailed talk about how MrFriendly lurches about in a permanent reptilian sexual display, grabbing the player with these long tentacled arms, then pulling him towards itself until the point of fatal copulation. After he finishes up, there's another longer pause as Gabe continues to stare at the image. Gabe then looks up at Ted and says, "Excellent, that's exactly what I was looking for." He and Ted then get into this excited conversation about possible psychosexual alien behaviors and clinical descriptions of disturbed adolescent sexual fantasies, and I sit back, sort of stunned, looking back and forth between the two of them, thinking, oh my god, what have I done? From that point on, I didn't know where it was going to go, but I knew that I didn't want to miss it. For me, that was the first day of Valve. Ken Birdwell. Oh boy. Yeah, the creators of Half-Life plan to implement a fornication alien. The so-called MrFriendly. Obviously, it never made it into the final game, and it wasn't even fully completed before it landed on the cutting room floor. So, naturally, fans tried to recreate it and provide players with the opportunity to meet MrFriendly in a modded environment. And this is our segue into the sad news about a Half-Life mod. The development of Half-Life Absolute Zero has been retired. After 10 years of being stuck in development and several setbacks, the developer Cobalt 57 decided to cancel the work and focus on new projects. New projects which shall be their own games and not mods. From our side here at ESCalation, we wish them great luck, and we will watch their career with great interest. The cancellation of Half-Life Absolute Zero means that the Steam page will be taken offline. But here's a piece of somewhat good news. You will still be able to download the game from ModDB and directly via Steam even. They will share all their work, so it won't be lost. Because the things they managed to recreate are impressive. And that includes a recreation of Mr. Friendly. When playing through the chapter which later became questionable ethics in the main game, you will probably encounter him. That guy will charge at you fast, so you better watch out and have a loaded shotgun ready. If you came here to see the fatal fornication, then you will be disappointed, as this recreation was only done with the files that Valve actually left over. The proposed mating attack never left the concept stages. I speculate that Valve, if they had thought of implementing the most menacing attack of Mr. Friendly, it would have been part of a cutscene. There were talks about doing sequences of Gordon losing his glasses and his vision getting all blurry as he gets knocked to the ground. These ideas were never finished due to several reasons. One of them being Mr. Friendly would have probably gotten the game censored in many places. Another one being technical limitations of the time. Making a blurry vision in Half-Life 1 is pretty hard. If you want to know more about the removed cutscenes from Half-Life, I suggest you go and watch episode 8 of the cut content of Half-Life. And if you want to play Absolute Zero to meet Mr. Friendly yourself in a Half-Life beta environment, you should go check out the video description. All the links needed will be found there. So, that is it for today. At this point, a special thanks to our Patreons, whose loyal support brought you this video. They got to see this video first. To them and everyone else, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, you know what to do. So, see you guys next time. Until then, have a nice day, and as always, goodbye and guten Tag.